Hi, y'all. It's Cat Connie coming at you from Squirrel's Nest. And I was going to go over a few things, kind of take a walk down memory lane. Well, for New Year's, my cousin Orville brought over his kid, Emmett. And Emmett was running all over the backyard with this thing on his head. I was thinking he was going to run into a tree or he's going to fall down and hurt himself. And I told him, I said, Emmett, come over here and tell me what the heck you got on your head. And he said, well, I'm going to show you, Aunt Connie. And he took it off and he put it on my head, and I was looking and I thought, well, where am I? It was just like being in Jurassic Park. The dinosaurs were all around. I thought, what the devil is going on here? So I took it off and I handed it over. It even had sound. I had to stick the ear things in my ears so I could hear it, but I even heard the dinosaurs. I told Emmett, I said, what the devil is this thing? What was his Christmas present? He wanted some, I think he called it some VR headset thing. I don't know what it was, but it was almost like being there. The only difference was I couldn't smell it. Of course, I was outside in the woods, so it kind of did smell like the woods anyway. It was really interesting. Kind of scared me for a minute, though. And I told him, and I said, we had something like that when I was growing up. Came with this little paper wheel and had all these pictures on it. And you put it in there and you pulled the lever down and you looked in it and you could see different pictures. Didn't move or anything. That was our virtual reality. If you wanted more virtual reality, you just went over to the neighbor's house. They were always fighting or doing something, jumping out of trees or whatever. That was our virtual reality. Anyway, so when Emmett took it, his little VR whatever headset thing, and ran off with it, me and Orville sat there by the fire and were talking about how when we grew up, shoot, we didn't have nothing like that when we grew up. We had to use our imagination. We did a lot of pretending when I was growing up. But the toys, when we rode our bikes, do you think we had a helmet or anything to protect our head? Heck no. We all survived, but we didn't have no pads for our knees. We had skinned up knees and tore up pants and patches a lot of times on our knees, on our jeans, but we never had any of those knee pads and elbow pads and head gear and all that stuff to protect. We just had fun. I think our kids are getting soft. They wouldn't know what it was like to go through what we went through. We had all kinds of different toys that kids right now couldn't play with. So I sat down, me and Orville sat down and decided we were going to write out a list of things that we grew up with. And I giggled and I laughed so hard you cannot imagine the kind of toys that we had. So, of course, the first on the list was what I came up with, was the Easy Bake Oven. Oh, the Easy Bake Oven. And every child, every girl my age wanted the Easy Bake Oven. We could make pies, little cakes. Came with all of these little recipes, these little cake mixes. They looked just like a regular little oven. Miniature little oven. And it cooked just like it too. My brother Elmer ate all of the cakes that I made. And Mama never bought any more cake mixes, so my oven just kind of went off to the side and sat there and grew dust. Although we did try a few times to put a few toys in there to see what would happen if we could melt them, if it was hot enough to melt them. Some toys kind of got a little disfigured. Barbie didn't look very good. It's alright. It wasn't my Barbie anyway. I never had Barbie. Barbie was for the people who had money. I had Skipper. And Skipper was kind of the hillbilly to Barbie. It's alright. I like Skipper. She was alright. And you know, I was talking to Orville, and Orville said, you know, my sister had a Barbie, and every time she saw that Barbie, it was thrown in a corner with no clothes on it. You know, that was another thing we were talking about. They used to have all these clothes for all these dolls, and every doll I ever saw at any of my friend's house or at my relative's house had no clothes on. They were always thrown in a box with no clothes on. I don't know if we decided that we just didn't feel like getting them dressed, or we got tired of dressing them and undressing them and dressing them and undressing them. You know, there was this one doll. I begged my mama for it. Never got it. But it was called Baby Alive. You could give it. You fed it. And whatever you fed it went right through it. Straight through it and into a diaper it went. And then it said, I made a stinky. And they wonder why. I sit here and think to myself, it's surprising that we ever had any children after having dolls like that. They were almost like a horror story. And I said, what made us good babysitters? Because I'm telling you what, we babysat at about 10 or 11. Nobody worried about that either. Here, why don't you go over there and drop off your 2-month-old kid with that 10-year-old? She'll watch him yet because she had a baby alive. She knows how to take care of him. She had a baby alive. Surprising that any of them ever made it through, right? Yeah, we know what we were doing. So, let's see what else we got on the list here. Oh, we had this stuff. It came in an egg, and it was called Silly Putty. And you took it and you put it on your cartoons and your comic books, and it took the ink off the comic book and put it on the Silly Putty so you could stretch it. Yeah, I think the kid down the street ate his Silly Putty. I don't think he was ever right after that. Something happened to him. I don't know. It could have been the glue, too. He always ate Elmer's glue. But that Silly Putty was something else again. You could do all kinds of things with it. You know, one time I put it in. My cousin made me so mad. I put it in her hair. It stuck real good. Oh my gosh. I got the tar beat out of me over that because I had to end up cutting her hair. She kind of deserved it though. Anyway. Let's see what else we got on this list. Oh. Do you guys remember the Click Clacks? Yeah, the Click Clacks. They were 2 glass balls. And they were on a string. And you would take them and click them back and forth against each other, and they'd make either a circle or they'd go back and forth. But they were the best weapon you ever saw. I could swing that thing and hit people with them, and they hurt. It was like getting hit with a rock or worse. Oh, I don't think they made it longer than about a year. And then they had to take them out because, they had to discontinue those. People were getting hurt with them. Glass was breaking. Things were going to people's eyes. But again, we survived. The Click Clack. Anybody had Click Clacks. Too bad. Then we had these things, they were called the Pet Rock. It was just a normal old rock somebody drew a face on, put it in a fancy little box that looked like a cage, and you were to carry this rock around and call it by name, just like it was your pet. That was an ingenious idea. People made a lot of money off that. We had a troll doll, and it had that hair that stuck out all over everywhere. Well, we cut the hair off of it and stuck it on our rock. Then somebody stole my rock. I think those rocks ended up breaking a lot of windows when people found them in their kitchen sink. My mama found mine in the kitchen sink with the window busted. Now I didn't do that. Whoever was, I guess, returning it. Yeah, look at the imagination we had there. Rock didn't talk, but we talked to it. And we thought it talked back. Maybe we were crazy. I don't know. Yep, the pet rock. Alright. Oh, and let me tell you, anybody had the doll, the Valerie doll, you know, the one that had ponytail, and you could make it pull its hair and it would grow, and it had a little knob on its tummy, and you twisted it, and the hair would shorten. Well, I gotta tell you something. Don't cut its hair, because it don't grow back. I cut my Valerie's hair, and it never did grow back. That was another doll ended up in the corner with no clothes on. In fact, I think I drew on that doll's face. I don't know. She needed some makeup. She didn't look very good. Yeah, the things that we did and we grew up. Do you remember the banana seat on the bikes? Everybody had a banana seat bike. And you could give your friends a ride. They'd ride on the back and hold on. Well, they don't make those anymore because, you know, I think people fell off if they were riding or something. I don't know, but the seats are only for one person right now. They're really missing out. They're really missing out. And Orville told me that the banana seats were the best when you popped wheelies. I don't know. I never could pop a wheelie. I tried, but no, I couldn't do it. I think my banana seat was too wide. I don't know. But I could never do it. Orville was pretty good at it. And then remember, we had the big wheel. That little track big wheel thing. I never had one. Only thing I had was a track. It was a little metal track. And the wheels were wobbly on it. And we'd ride it as fast as we could, and it made these sounds, and it was actually a lot of fun. Kind of wondered how the wheels ever stayed on it, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's the kind of bike I had at a track. I didn't have a big wheel, but the girl up the street had a big wheel, and she'd come storming down the highway with her big wheel, and it made some kind of clicking sound. I was so glad when her daddy ran over that with this truck. That was the end of that big wheel. Yeah, we had to have an imagination when I was growing up. They don't have an imagination anymore. If it isn't there and they don't have it on that little head thing, then you know what? They're missing out. They're really missing out. I'm telling you. Our kids turning soft. They're like marshmallows. What's going to happen I bet you they'd cry if they fell down. We fell off bikes. We fell out of trees. Those were the days. They were fun. And I wouldn't give them up for all the Team China. All right, y'all. It's been so much fun going down this memory avenue with you. And you know, I would love for you to send me a comment. Tell me some of the things I've missed out on so I can make a list and maybe we can talk about them next time. If you like this video, press like, I guess. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be out again so we can do some more walking down that memory lane. Y'all take care. Bye.